man, that is something. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. It's Hump Day. It's heading back to the window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steehn, with lead handicapper with winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
There you go. It's like when you hit a receiver right in the hands and they drop it. I've done that intro like literally 500-600 times and I fuck it up. So, he was wide open too and he dropped it. How you doing, buddy? Doing all right?
Yeah, doing pretty well. Pretty solid day in sports yesterday for my betting purposes, so that was nice. Besides that, yeah, just been chilling. Anything going on with you?
Not much. Another horrible pick on my play of the day yesterday. As I had USC to cover, fucking down double digits. Good God!
I said I liked the under. That didn't get there either.
Oh fuck! It was awful. It was just awful. And we split on the premium side, so that went okay. But I was so cold, dude. I took the day off as far as my play of the day. I had a play that I liked, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just fucking cold. I'm not doing it. So I did
Olympic hockey.
There you go. Yeah, that's how much you like the card tonight. So very solid. Got to say hello to everybody that's here. Of course, J.C. Stone, Euler Foster, Crash Landon coming off a sweep. There you go. What's up, Crash? Good to see you. David Good in the house. AZ out there, man. We're getting a little AZ weather here. It's about 60. So that's cool. J.C. Stone.
72 degrees where I am.
Is it really? Oh, because you're inside. Fuck off.
Because I'm in my room.
James
S. I'm in a room. Yeah.
Jason,
I'm going to make that joke every time.
Yep. Bad day for NCAA and all. Yeah. Jason, that Roll Tide guy. Roll Tide, buddy. Jane, okay. You can see a lot of guys here. Jane said he called the Auburn upset. Very good.
We both liked Arkansas on that one.
We did. Fayetteville, tough place to play, man. It really is. And, we talked about Auburn been playing with fire. And, yeah, they got burned. That Arkansas was just that much better than Mizzou, who Auburn beat by 1. So
You watch any of the second half of that game?
No, I did not. I was watching ski.
In the last 30 seconds of regulation. I saw it against Georgia. Not against Georgia. I saw it on several occasions. They have some of the worst shot selection on final possession shots I've ever seen. They just do nothing besides stand around and take 38-footers. Because Auburn was tied, 20-something seconds on the game clock, no shot clock. Dribble in the same spot. 3 seconds left. Oh, I got to shoot it. Chucks it from 38 feet. Not even close. Just a terrible possession. 10 regulation.
Not good at all. Bill McDonald checking in. David Good said he went to graduate school in Fayetteville. It's beautiful. It is. I'll tell you what, though. It ain't a place for a fat guy. If you you better be in, because you're walking up some hills in Fayetteville by the stadium and the school and everything. It's a hilly town, is what I'm saying. Favorites in the NBA are printing money the last 4 days. Yeah, we actually are going to talk about that here a little bit later. Bill McDonald, do we like Houston? First half tonight, usually a solid play. I'm assuming he's talking.
It's a lot more solid at home usually, but SMU's been good. Houston's a world beater. I mean, they're the best team in the conference by far. I'm not going to push back and say I like SMU in that spot because Houston's clearly the best team in the conference, and it's not even close.
No, you lay in 4. That's not awful. Houston is an extremely good first half team, especially at home. So are they on the road for this one? No, they're on the road, aren't they?
They're on the road. That's why I said I like the first half more at home.
Yeah. Let's see.
They're still the much better team.
Well, they putting up 37-2 in the first half on the road. Okay. Play a little better first half. Yeah. Okay. They're still the far better team. I think the defense is going to be able to do the job because that's what is going to count. And SMU can put some points on the board, man. They can score. So,
yeah.
The only venue I watch for Olympics women volleyball that makes me a pig, so be it, says David the Italian. I'm assuming he's talking about beach volleyball, which that's a fine sport right there. I'm sorry.
It is. It's the wrong Olympics, but you're not wrong.
No, I know it is the wrong Olympics. I like regular volleyball. It's a fun when you can now score on every serve, because you used to have to be able to serve to get the point, and now they play to 25 and you can. Yeah, I like it. It's cool. I don't mind volleyball at all.
Well, my school's the defending champions, so I actually watched a bit of the NCAA tournament.
There you go. My best play, George Mason +1. Don't hate that, says King Me. Mason at home in that one. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We might even talk about that game here a little bit later, huh, Scott?
Yeah, potentially.
You gonna be putting a UFC out monster card this weekend, buddy?
Kind of have to. It's one of the biggest cards of the year, just based on the quality of fights. Of course, there's only one title fight, so
right.
There are a couple of bigger cards, but Adesanya's fighting Whitaker again. That should be fun. Even some of the other cards, you got Shuey against Derek Lewis. What more do you want? So on one hand, you have Lewis with the funny interviews. On the other hand, Tuivasa might chug another beer out of a shoe. So should be entertaining post-fight no matter what. But I should end up making a video.
There you go. Cool. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Don't forget we're doing our Super Bowl prop show right after this, and I got some good ones cooked up. I got some plays that I found some value in. I know you have found some as well, so that should be fun. And then of course Friday we're doing our Super Bowl preview, and then Sunday the big pregame spectacular with everybody involved should be there. So that'll be fun. And of course, like and subscribe. There will be consequences if you don't like and subscribe. We will ask you for likes 5 separate times. And you know why I said that, Scott? I put that in there because somebody roasted me in the comment section yesterday that I start the video asking for likes, and they said, you know what? If we want to like it, we will. If we don't want to like it, we won't. Stop asking for likes. And then he brought out the hammer, Scott. Brought out the fucking hammer. You know what he said?
Well, you told me, but I'll let you tell the audience.
He said Scott Reichel doesn't ask for likes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, in a world full of Steens, be a Reichel, I guess is what this dude is saying. On the other hand, I didn't know if he'd ever watched videos before. on YouTube, because me asking for likes, not exactly unique on the YouTube. So anyway, don't forget to like. Now I'm going to feel weird every time I fucking did. It's so weird, man. I've been doing this 4 years almost. Literally thousands of comments. That's the first time anybody's ever said anything, and now it's in my head. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't ask for likes. All right, so let's get her rolling, Scott. Let's before further ado, because we got a lot to cover today. So let's find out how yesterday went for everybody. Let's find out who took it in the shorts, who took it to the bank, who was the winners, and who was the whiners in the day's edition of Call Those Cops. All right, very good, Scott. Well, probably nothing as dramatic as the NBA game the day before, but there were a few puckers here. And speaking of that Arkansas-Auburn game, in a game that I said I liked the under and was thoroughly roasted, under 151.5, if you bet that.
What kind of idiot would take the under?
You had it capped right. You were on the right side. We went head-to-head about 3 times yesterday. I think I got you every time, buddy. It's a rarity.
Well, that's false, because we went head-to-head on the total. And I was right about the Arkansas over. So.
Okay, but
I don't know.
Big fat fucking asterisk on that, because, well, for starters, UConn. There's one I remember.
Cool.
Had 132 in regulation, 66-66. You beat it by 19 points. You're a fucking genius. You followed me. Way to go. Oh shit, I haven't been running good. Oh no, I haven't, because here comes overtime. That's right. And you're thinking, well, it's 132. They're still going to get 20 in overtime. I could be okay here, right? Fuck you. You're not winning. That game landed 156. They couldn't stop making it fucking rain in overtime. If you had Auburn, Arkansas, under 151.5, call the cops. Now, you guys may notice that I sometimes give more enthusiastic reads to call the cops. Good chance that those are the games that I may have had a little piece of. So, just saying. Go ahead.
Never in doubt.
It's anyway. Directly to how many hundreds is how many fucks I drop, okay? That's pretty much the way that works. Go ahead, bud.
Second one, we were actually on the right side of it, because I know we both liked Penn State yesterday against Michigan. But if you were laying 2 with the Wolverines, they led by 4 with less than 2 seconds left. You know what that means? Everyone get away.
Count it.
Nobody foul.
Count it.
And Penn State drained the meaningless three-pointer at the end of regulation. Michigan only won by 1.
Nothing but Netskis right there, buddy. And finally, looking out west where they call me Tex, if you had the Utah State, Wyoming under 140.5, how about them Cowboys? 68-68 in regulation. Hey, it's overtime fucking night. Sure it is. Here we go. That game also, it landed 154 as well, as they put up 18, which would have got you home in the Arkansas game. But I digress. That under 140.5, that was a distant memory. Utah State, Wyoming, call the cops.
I mentioned it several times before. The Mountain West historically is awful in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to regular season conference play, is that the most entertaining conference in the sport this year? Because it feels that way.
You certainly have a wide variety of styles. A lot of those teams are really, they're on the same level. But
teams are competitive.
And here's the mistake that I make, Scott. I watch these teams play in conference play, and they look really good in the tournament, or they look really good to close out the year, and you get behind them in the NCAA tournament. And then you forget, oh, yeah, I'm comparing apples and cantaloupes here.
To Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, Colorado State getting 10 from Kentucky. That should be a lock. They're about as good, right? Thanks for playing.
The Mountain West, historically speaking, is god-awful in the NCAA tournament.
So
in that actual conference tournament and in the regular season, the Mountain West is arguably must-watch TV.
Yeah.
Every game feels like it comes down to the wire.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Well, there was some good news out there. Let's see if we found ourselves on this list at all. As you know who you were. You had a nice lazy Tuesday evening because you were sitting in the rocking chair.
So the first one going to go to hockey. If you had the Devils on the money line against the Canadiens, they led 2-0 after the first period, and it got a lot easier after that because the Devils won 7-1.
Diablos, El Diablos. Hey, staying in the world of ice hockey, if you had the Wild Jets under 6, had 1 goal in the first 58 minutes. Oh my God, how could this be a bad beat? It's not. They scored another goal, and then it was 2-0, and then the game ended. Congratulations, you were 4 under. You cashed that ticket easily.
And the last one, if you had LSU, -1 against Texas A&M, led by 20 at the half, and they won by 8.
All right, very good. We haven't done one of these in a while, and we've kind of eschewed our segments in order to cap more games. But sometimes something comes up, and we just have to talk about it. And I think we've actually got 2 of those today, Scott. Like my mom when she found me with the vacuum cleaner. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. All right, buddy. I'll let you take this one since this is your hometown team that showed up in this. Who was the disappointed us yesterday?
So it was my hometown team, but I had money on the Celtics as my play of the day.
Yeah.
So I wasn't complaining about the result. It's about the Brooklyn Nets because we know they were missing a bunch of their best players yesterday. No Harden, no Kyrie, no KD. Joe Harris is still injured. No Claxton, no Aldridge. They were basically using a G League squad. And you expected Boston to win pretty handily. But what you didn't expect was Brooklyn to be trailing at 28-2 7 minutes into the game.
I don't want to say you got a rocking chair with 41 minutes left, but you had to feel good about that play. 28-2. Not good. Not good. I like Boston first quarter there. I got to be honest with you.
I liked them the full game. I think it might have been the biggest play I've ever had.
Nice.
But I was all over Boston, and that worked out really well.
Outstanding. All right, so let's do one more here. And somebody alluded to this briefly, and we'll touch on it here in the odds makers. Not a good day for the odds makers yesterday. I think there was an office party for all of them because apparently they were all drunk. So if you're a square bettor in the NBA, it's a good time to be alive right now because NBA favorites went 9-1 straight up, 9-1 ATS yesterday, and I think, like somebody said, I think that's about the 4th day in a row that the favorites have really done well. So, any theories on that, Scott?
It seems like the theories. I would say, based on the fact that we're on the trade deadline and we can start to tell which teams are borderline tanking and which teams are not, you're starting to get those obvious fade spots, which are the best down the stretch when you know a team's tanking and you know they're playing the rookies or the young guys 30 plus minutes and they're just going to get buried every night.
Yep.
We're not officially at that point, but you can tell which teams definitely, let's just say, want it more. A lot of teams playing yesterday didn't seem to care too much, and they got buried as a result. Was that your takeaway? Because you're looking at a bunch of these teams. Detroit's a lost cause. They've been a lost cause the entire season. The Knicks are a lost cause. The Nets had a bunch of injuries, but nobody cares.
My question is, though, why are the odds makers missing? Not why are teams winning by big margins. Why are the odds makers missing the numbers?
Well, I think the reason is to kind of correlate that is the fact that the odds makers are still pricing the underdogs like it was the case earlier in the season, but it hasn't adjusted to the roster moves that they've made.
Got a little lag, is what you're saying.
There's a little lag because Portland was initially a favorite somehow against Orlando, even though they traded about 90% of the good players on their team.
Yep.
So that doesn't make any sense. You're talking about some of the other teams like, trying to think of examples. Indiana. They traded Sabonis. They were missing half their team. How'd that go? They got killed by Atlanta. So I do think that even though the odds makers might have been having good analysis on some of these teams, the bottom feeders earlier in the year, they have to adjust to the rapid change in roster makeup, and that might take a little bit of time.
All right, fair enough. I'm assuming this is a UFC question. Tai Tuivasa?
Tuivasa.
Exactly. Derek Lewis. I got that one. Nailed the Derek Lewis. Is he crazy? Is he naive?
I don't think you're crazy when you have two knockout guys that are going to stand in front of each other and try to kill each other. So the question is Tuivasa going to land the big shot first? Personally, I think Lewis is going to win. It's going to be in his hometown of Houston. He has the record for most knockouts in the history of the UFC. So I'm going to go with Lewis. But Tuivasa's fun. They're going to stand in the middle and trade. One good shot and Tuivasa can take it, but I think Lewis is going to knock him out.
Okay. All right, very good. Somebody said we need Henry Martinez. By the way, what's up, Hank? It says that we need a over-under for likes on the particular show. If there's an angle, we'll bet it. That's all I'm saying. I don't care. We got, by the way, Scott, day before yesterday, got to 100.
Nice.
Got to 103. So that was a big day for us. And you know what else we have coming up? We have our 1 year anniversary coming up in about 3 weeks. 17 more episodes, and we'll be at 1 year, buddy. Does it
on our way.
Seem like 1 year, or seem about like 5 years?
Well, it's not 1 year of us together. It's 1 year of this version of the show.
Yes, correct. Yes,
so,
we've been together longer than that.
Yeah, we've had a couple of years. I've cherished the moment.
Yes, so, it's been. Yeah. Someday we should meet.
Yeah, one of these days one of these years we'll do the anniversary show drunk. We'll see what happens.
Did the U.S. beat China in hockey yet? When is that game?
No, that's Thursday morning.
Okay, there you go.
That's 8 a.m.
And you gave me a spoiler on the curling, which was at 7 a.m. Eastern time this morning, but they show it. I got up and started watching it live. I'm at the 8th in. The U.S. is up by 1. And say, hey, congratulations on the USA coming, hitting that one in extra time. Like, what the fuck?
Well, you told me you had money on. Did you have money on it?
I did. I had money on it.
You had money on it, and you're watching it on tape delay.
I am. I hadn't checked my account yet. I purposely did not check my account because I would have known I had money on all the games. So happy anniversary!
Living the dream. It's like the NCAA tournament in like the 1970s. You're watching it on 15-hour delay.
Groovy Cap says the over under is 25 likes for today. I got the over. That's it. Smash that motherfucker.
I'll go with the over.
There you go. What else you got tonight? You got anything else that you're in love with here tonight? I'm looking at the and believe me, these games didn't get any. I don't take days off very often. I'm about like you, where I haven't taken a day off in a while. But I've been running cold on the plays of the day. Weird thing is, premium. It's been okay. It's been a push. I think I've had 4 1-and-1 days in a row. But as far as the plays of the day, I'm cold, dude. Cold. Probably like 1 for my last 6 or so.
I was cold a week and a half ago, but I don't take days off, so I was pushing through it, and we started to win a couple, so that's definitely a good sign. But for the actual card today, I'll go with the NBA first. I like Chicago in this matchup. I know that you're looking at the injury report. Of course, Alonso's still out, Caruso's still out, and DeSunwu's still out. But you still have a Chicago team that can score the ball pretty easily. Charlotte's been playing some terrible ball lately.
Mm-hmm.
Now Gordon Hayward's out indefinitely. He's always injured, but now you have to rely on Oubre to get starting minutes. Not a great defender. He can score, though. Totals 237, so they're expecting a track meet. But I'm going with Chicago. Charlotte's a team, from what I can tell this season, is one game over 500 because they're just very streaky.
Mm-hmm.
They have good moments, bad moments, and they rotate.
It's a freaky team,
Charlotte's
man.
in the middle of a slump.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Chicago on that one.
Yep. They win 7 of 8 and then lose 7 of 9. That's just outstanding basketball right there.
But you're looking at Chicago, and they still have DeRozan, who's been nuts. He scored 38 plus in each of the last 2 games. Levine's healthy again, so he scored 30 last game, I believe. Vucevic has been really good. I like this Chicago team. I think they're talented, and if Charlotte's not really going to guard anybody, and if the offense is kind of struggling, I'm going to take Chicago.
Yeah, I don't blame you. JB, I took the night off. I did not do a video. I did Capper of the Day, so I have all those ready to go. I did not do a video. it's one of those rare times where, like in real life, if you're running cold, you lay off a little bit. I was running cold on my play of the day. I wanted to just reset, take a day, and I did. So Jones says we're officially going steady after 1 year. I do spend more time talking to you probably than I on most days talking to my wife, because she works and she comes home and she goes to bed and she gets up and I'm still sleeping.
I'm sorry for setting the bar that high.
Yeah, I know, right? LeBron over 25 points tonight. Vucevic over 15.
You're not going to get any arguments from me.
A little parlay for you there.
I mean, the Lakers need the win. They need every win. Portland stinks. They got even worse because now McCollum's not there.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers better win this game. I'm not going to blame them for yesterday's loss because they're playing against Milwaukee. You're supposed to lose. We both like Milwaukee in that game. But it's not even a hot take. The Lakers stink. But Portland is god-awful. So the Lakers should win this game. Whether they do or not, it's a separate story, but the projected starting lineup for Portland: Simons, McLemore, Ellerby, Winslow, and Nurkic. Ouch. That'll win you maybe 12 games in a season. I'll take the Lakers.
Any interest in Toronto laying 10 on the road against OKC?
Toronto's been playing really good ball. Oklahoma City, of course, still missing Shea. Dort's kind of by himself offensively. Giddey's more of a facilitator. It's either Toronto or pass. Because Toronto discovered that resting players is for the week. They just play everybody 40 minutes a game and nobody cares.
Yep.
But Toronto's been killing people. So it's either Toronto or pass.
You know what? I take a little sniff at Oklahoma City there with the points. 7-2-1 against the number, their last 10 home games. I'm okay with that. They're not winning, but they're keeping it.
They don't need to.
They're keeping it disturbingly close. So, yeah, I'm all right with that. I just don't know about Toronto laying 10. I know without Shea, it's definitely a much more difficult task for the Thunder. But
it seems like a spot we talked about it earlier for Oddsmakers Were Drunk, how the favorites have been doing really well.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of days.
Yep.
You're going to see some regression on that where the underdog has a decent day. I know I picked Chicago, and I'm not going to take Oklahoma City, but one of these days you're going to see the underdogs go like 7-3.
Oh yeah.
And you're going to go, are the odds makers back? Are the underdogs back? Like, I mean, it comes in waves.
Yeah,
so
absolutely does.
Don't just keep blindly betting favorites and expecting it to win every time.
No, that's why they call it square, buddy.
Yep.
How about this fading? I don't know. They're fading. Hit a little rough patch. Golden State playing at Utah. Utah still without Gobert. Iguodala's out. Of course,
he's always been out.
Of course, Clay and Iguodala are still out. Draymond's out. So the question there comes down to, can Golden State do it? Can Seth do it by himself? Because though they've been winning, they haven't been covering. So when I speak of a cold streak, I mean cold as far as bettors go. as they've covered the number 4 times in the last 9 games. So where are you at with that team, with this Utah team that's been playing decent basketball, won 3 straight, have a nice little home stretch going there, beat Denver, Brooklyn, New York, not exactly murderer's row there, Denver decent, but
well, Mitchell's healthy again, which is definitely a plus.
True. Yeah, they're when they had that 5-game losing streak, and that was, I think most of those were without Mitchell and Gobert, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, James, absolutely with Charlotte. They've been awful lately. They're so streaky. No Desanmu tonight. Oh, that's right. Yep. Mitchell over 25.5 against this Golden State defense.
If Utah's going to win, he's going to need to drop at least 28. So I don't mind that. I think that Mitchell should play well in that matchup. I know that Bronco mentioned DeRozan over. I did a podcast earlier today, and that's one of my favorite plays. DeRozan over 28.5, just because he's been so good lately. So I do think that you're looking at a spot where DeRozan just should have whatever matchup he wants, and he should exploit it, because I don't know who on Charlotte can actually guard him. Same thing with Golden State guarding Mitchell. Do they really have a guy that can guard him? I don't see it.
No, I don't either. I think he's going to be able to call his number there.
Mm-hmm. Now, Utah is a team I don't trust.
No.
Which makes sense, because you can't really trust that team. But Golden State missing Draymond and Clay. Is their team actually that good, talent-wise? I know that they have a great record and all, but you can make an argument that for this matchup, with the injuries Golden State has, is Utah the more talented team in this matchup?
I mean, it's certainly
make a case.
It's certainly possible. Like Golden State, they're on that winning streak, right? They've won 9 straight. The only team that's worth a damn they beat was Dallas and Utah. And that's pretty much it. So they beat Utah by 2 at home. They didn't cover the number. They didn't cover the 5.
I'm not even sure if Mitchell played in that game.
I'm not even.
I don't think he did.
I think that was the first game he missed, if I'm not mistaken. That was the 23rd of January. So, you know what? I'll take Golden State money line there. I'll take a little sniff. Baylor, Kansas State. Baylor -7 last time I checked. K-State's at home. Just about the time you want to just write this team off of being pretty much a complete waste of time, they step up and have a nice win. This Baylor team, Scott, are they going to be angry? Are they going to be angry coming off that Kansas game?
I think you can make the argument, yes, because they got embarrassed. But Kansas State plays good defense. Baylor plays good defense. I like the under. I just think 137 sounds way too high, when Kansas State offensively should definitely have to struggle for every single basket they get. But we know Kansas State also loves to slow the pace down. So I like the under. I think you'll see Kansas State get to, 63 in this game?
Tops.
I think you're in a good spot for the under.
They put 49 up when they played last time. Baylor ran them out of the gym.
Give me the under.
Okay. All right. The under cashed last time. It barely. You got there. Oh no, it was 120. I'm sorry, 123. Yeah, K-State put up 49 points. That's not good. I like this K-State team. They're scrappy. I think they've got a good future. I don't think that future is against Baylor. I'll take Baylor and lay the 7. Sorry, Wildcats.
Baylor is the better team, and you can make an argument that Kansas State had a good game against TCU, so they are obligated to be terrible for the next 2 games, then randomly have a good game in about a week.
Yeah, that's about right. That sounds solid.
I like the under as my favorite play in that game, though.
It's one of my favorite college basketball games. I've got a couple of premiums in college. I don't mind the Southern Illinois, Northern Iowa under. Getting 131.5 there. Southern Illinois defense is for real. We've talked about that before in conference play. I don't mind Wright State laying 8 to Wisconsin Green Bay. Awful team.
Green Bay's awful.
Yep, just terrible. Mississippi State, Tennessee. what's it basically pick 'em on that?
Yeah, it's basically a pick 'em. I see Mississippi State's around +1.5.
Yeah, that's what I've got as well.
I'm gonna take the Bulldogs there. I watched them play against Arkansas over the weekend. Defensively, they were really good. They couldn't score to save their lives, but Tennessee on the road is 3-4 straight up. So I'm not exactly sold on this Volunteer team. They're very good at home. They're not great on the road. But the Bulldogs can play good defense, and I'm a big fan of Iverson. I think he's pretty good. So I'm going to go with Mississippi State. I think they'll get the job done. The line looks a bit trappy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It really does. That's what I'm worried about in getting involved with Mississippi State there. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they're just daring you to take Tennessee. So I think this Mississippi State team, they've been good in conference. They've been good at home. USC sucks scrote. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Carrot. I appreciate you stopping by to let me know. Yeah, they were awful. They were absolutely awful. I bet Baylor -6.5 going to roll that into Scott's hockey play. Yeah, I think that's solid, Peter. I think that's absolutely. Peter's been doing the rollover parlays, which, as you know, I'm a big fan of. Way to get your true odds on that. So I'm rooting for you, buddy. Tennessee missing their big man. Oh shit! That's right. They lost.
And Mississippi big men came back from the Arkansas game, so they're actually healthy.
Yep. Nakamura. Is that it? Is that it? That sounds right.
You mean Tennessee's guy or Mississippi State's guy?
Tennessee's guy.
Drawing a blank on the name. Sorry.
How to get your podcast. Joan, we're available on basically every podcast platform out there. We're Apple, iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify, and I put it up as soon as we're done taping, as soon as we're done recording. I put it up on podcast. It takes a little while to get it up there, but it's usually up by, I would say, 5 o'clock Eastern time. So yeah, that's and definitely do our podcast because we're there just about everywhere. So you like girls in there. We love female cappers. You know, my wife has a theory, Scott, that there's way more ladies that listen to the show than comment because they're used to like hostile environments and in dude rich environments. Like gaming and sports betting.
What, a couple hundred views per show that we do?
Yeah, 600 or so. So
yeah, I'm not sure what the percentage of women listeners you think there are.
My wife thinks there's 100 plus.
She thinks that half of the audience.
No, 100 out of 600.
100 out of 600.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that sounds fair.
So yeah, I hope so. I hope that's right because I think they're definitely underrepresented in the market, and I think women are very analytical. I think they're good at math, and they're very.
I thought you meant 100 out of 200. I'm like, that seems a little bit much.
And the great thing, a lot of times, ladies don't come with preconceived notions about this team from 10 years ago or this team from they used to do this or their head isn't cluttered with that shit. So, David Good said my wife listens to the show as I do. She wins much more than me. No shit. Surprised to see Carrot's still alive. He was having some problems with a certain acquaintance that he had apparently pissed off. I don't know. It's Carrot drama, man.
It's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
That's absolutely true.
Keep that in mind.
What's your favorite college play tonight, buddy?
My favorite college play, based on a side, I'm tempted by Rutgers because all this team does is upset people at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what Rutgers just has done all season.
That's what I do, by the way. I try to upset people at home.
They've had issues against some underwhelming teams, but they've really risen to the occasion against ranked opponents.
Yep.
Rutgers is 11-2 at home, straight up 7-5-1 ATS. But you look at who they've beaten. They beat Purdue. They beat Iowa. Go down the line. They've beaten a decent amount of ranked teams. Ohio State on the road, 3-4 straight up, 3-4 ATS. On paper and according to all the advanced numbers, Ohio State should have won the game handily. But weird things happen over there in Rutgers. I'm going to take the Scarlet Knights.
Don't hate it. I'll pile on there with taking a ridiculous home dog as well. This is one that we talked about as a possible bet the farm. We stayed away from it, but it's Nebraska in Big Ten play at home. Again, Nebraska, not a good team, not going to win. Most times they're going to have to win this one because it's a really short number, but they cover. Covered against Indiana, covered against Wisconsin, covered against Rutgers, covered against Illinois, covered against Ohio State, all at home. So Minnesota, the wheels have come off. They have lost 8 of their last 9 straight up. Give me some Husker love there, bud.
The Cornhuskers are so bad, but it does seem that since the line is so short, knowing that Nebraska's this bad, Nebraska's probably going to win the game.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking. Kevin Solano says my girlfriend totally loves hearing y'all in the background. Very good. Nice. Knights, Scarlet Knights. There you go. Yep.
That's what I'm looking at. It's really tough to avoid taking a competent Big Ten home team getting points.
Mm-hmm.
They've done very well all season long.
Yep, it's been extremely solid. David asking for some unders, some over-unders. How about South Florida under? I've got a grid here, buddy. South Florida under, Dayton under. There's two unders for you. And how many overs here that I like? Oh yeah, I did. I like this one. I'm going to play this one personally. Vermont over. Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
I think if you're asking me for totals,
yeah,
I think
totals.
My favorite under is probably the Kansas State under.
Okay.
Just because I'm not even sure if Baylor shows up defensively, Kansas State gets to 55. So I got to be tempted by the under on that one. For an over, I'm actually going to go to the Samford game. I'm going to go with the over in the Samford-Wofford game because Samford just goes all-out pace, no defense whatsoever. Wofford tries to slow it a little bit, but Samford is so aggressive with its pace, I think it'll be contagious. I see that game getting into the 150s.
Alabama Ole Miss, talking about a clash of styles there as well. 143.5. Somebody asked us about the total there.
I'm not taking an over with Ole Miss.
See, and I feel,
get there, but I'm not doing it.
I feel the same way about taking it under with Alabama.
That's fair.
It's who's going to be able to impose their will.
I like Mississippi to cover and potentially win the game. So because of that, I'm assuming they're going to dictate pace. So I think it's correlated. I'm going Mississippi and the under because if they try to go up tempo with Alabama, they're going to get run out of their own gym.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
So I think it's correlated.
And Kentucky was able to slow Alabama down. What
do you think? I feel like it's correlated. If you like Bama, you're probably taking the over.
Yes, absolutely agree. Mississippi defense, like I said, they've been playing good ball, especially lately. Yeah, I think they're going to try to impose their will at home. I think, yeah, give me the under there. Euler Foster says Harvard Yale under. Little dip in the midweek Ivy action, Scott.
Truth be told, I forgot that the Ivy even did midweek games because I'm so used to them playing on Friday.
Yeah, the Friday-Saturday doubleheaders.
Mm-hmm.
What's the number there? 140? Yeah, I got to play the under there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the under as well.
I agree.
I feel like it's a spot where we know these teams hate each other, or these teams are very competitive with each other every time. I don't see both teams getting into the 70s. I see one maybe reaching 70, one reaching 60 something. I think it'll be close, but I think it'll land probably around 136.
I've got it at 134.5. So yeah, I think that's solid.
Okay.
Bradley Braves catching 4.5 from the Ramblers of Loyola, Illinois. Scott,
I'm looking at Bradley in that spot. Bradley's been playing better ball over the last month.
Mm-hmm.
They played once this season. And I believe that game went to overtime, correct?
Yes, it was Bradley ended up losing, but it was a 13-point spread. They obviously didn't lose against the spread.
Yeah. But Bradley's won 5 of 6. They've been playing better. But you lose in overtime on the road against Loyola. I feel like you're undervalued at home.
Yep.
I think Bradley keeps it close. I like the under in that game. So it's another spot where if I like the under, I feel better getting points.
Fair enough.
Because you might like Loyola, and then you realize in order to cover the spread they're laying, they might have to actually score more than 50-something points.
Right.
And that's not a given in any given game. So I'm going to go with Bradley plus the points.
Yeah, definitely. When you're looking to cover big numbers, definitely correlate your big numbers with the total. And if you're laying 12 points in a game that's 130, that's something you might want to give a second thought to. Wake Forest, North Carolina State, big number there. North Carolina State team that treats defense the way I treat salad bars. Don't like them. Not interested in them. So the problem is,
State is so bad.
That's the problem.
NC
They can't fucking shoot. They're just
so
awful on offense, man. I don't know. I'd probably be more interested in taking a Wake Forest team total there, or somewhere in the neighborhood of 78.5 or so.
I think they get to 80.
Yeah, I do too. I think I totally agree. I don't want to get involved with counting on North Carolina State to do shit except give up points. So North Carolina State only 7-7 at home. They've been dreadful in conference play.
Well, they're 7-7 at home. They're 3-11 ATS.
Right.
So.
Right. Yep. Exactly correct. So even when they get there, they don't get there with any style at all. This is just a team that's not playing well. I would be all over Wake Forest in this spot and take the team total over as well.
That's what I'm looking at. NC State maybe can show up for this one. I'll believe it when I see it.
I don't see it. They're
getting run out in their own building half the time.
Yep. The only team they showed up for lately has been Virginia, just out of nowhere, a 14-point win over UVA. But other than that, they've been absolute shite.
Shout out to Wake Forest, by the way. They're actually ranked. Good for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Been a couple of years since they've been ranked.
Yeah, that's something I will probably get involved with on a personal level as well. I like the Deeks there. Yes, Zach. We talked about that a little bit earlier. He will be doing a UFC video.
Yep.
I will not be doing a UFC video. Sorry, buddy.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. It was a lot. I learned a lot because I came from no knowledge, zero knowledge. Had never, maybe watched 3 fights in my life when the pandemic hit and we started capping UFC. So
you bet it occasionally.
I do. I bet very small amounts on goofy shit. It's usually one outcome per fight, and sometimes I get lucky and have a profitable night. I make no claim to having any sort of skill whatsoever at all, especially like yourself, who grew up with it. Grew up watching it with your dad, which that's wasn't my deal at all. And of course, it wasn't around when I was a kid. So,
well, grew up is a stretch. I'd say I started probably 9th grade. Maybe.
Okay, all right.
Like I missed the GSP run, but
4
I
years
picked
ago.
it up after.
Okay.
It wasn't really 4; it was more like 10, but close enough. Who's counting?
Bobby Morris, Scott, heading up against hosting Detroit Mercy. It's a great name for that team because that's often what they're saying to the other team.
They have one good player. I mean, we talked about it when they faced off against Wright State the other day.
Yep.
I said Wright State might kill them, and they won that game by 30-something because besides Antoine Davis, the team stinks.
They're not good. They're not good. They lose that one by 31 to Wright State. I worry about this Robert Morris team because
they suck.
Well, they struggled with the Wisconsin cities. They handily beat Milwaukee. They struggled against Green Bay, dude. They at home beat Green Bay by 2. That's not a quality performance there.
I have no opinion on this game at all. Both these teams stink. Yeah. I'm not getting to the window with either of these teams.
Give me the home favorite just on general principles.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Detroit on the principle of not being able to bet on Robert Morris.
STM Network. Did you hit any of your parlays yesterday? Did you go 0-3 or did you go 1-2? Because I had talked to him. Do you think Houston covers against SMU? Yeah, both of us agreed that we don't love it, but we don't really want to get involved with SMU in that spot.
It won't be easy, but I think Houston wins by 10.
Robert Morris money line. I think that's a solid play, James. I think that's the way to go.
I'm just staying away. You have that big of a card, and you want to bet on Robert Morris. I'm just picking other games.
Okay, fair enough. Tulane plus 10 against Memphis.
I like Tulane in that spot. I think Tulane with Hunter as the coach has actually been surprisingly decent in conference play. Are they good overall? Not really. But Memphis is a team that's been a psycho team all season long. I'm not laying double digits there. Give me Tulane in conference play.
Tulane's covered 5 straight, 7 of 8, man. Okay.
They've been good.
Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me, Daddy. STM Network said of the 6 picks, he had 3 parlays, 3 2-game parlays, 2-leg parlays. He hit 1 leg, hit the Vancouver winner. Peaks and valleys, son. Peaks and valleys. Because he had all 3 the day before. So, what do you got for today? You gonna give a pick to the people, buddy? Put a parlay out there. Put your favorite parlay out. That's my son, by the way. I don't know. We talk about it, but STM Network is my kid. That stands for Steehn Machine Network, or Steehn Machine. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, it's almost that time, bud. You ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Let's do it up here, man. We've been okay. We've been okay lately, and once again, it's Hump Day. It's the wash day, so you probably got those nice clean overalls. Go ahead and put them on. You can leave a strap hanging. You know, we're kind of low key here, but however you dress, put your straw hat on, grab your keys, climb aboard that John Deere, and fire that bad boy up, kids, because once again, it is time to bet the farm. Well, Skeeter, I know we had a bet the farm play yesterday. How did that end up?
We had Toledo covering against Ohio, and they won handily.
Cue the banjos! Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
All right, there you go. And we do have a bet the farm play for today, and it is going to be from the game that somebody asked us about. It's the Richmond George Mason game. Scott, do you know who George Mason was?
Hell of a guy. He was a patriot, I believe.
He was a patriot. He was signed the Declaration of Independence. That's and that's really all I know about him. But yeah, good cat.
Can't believe they're not called the John Hancocks.
Right. We're going to play the under 137. This is a Richmond team. May not be quite as good in years past, but they're still top 100 in defensive efficiency. And the defense has really been getting it done lately, as they've given up just 61.1 points per game in their last 7. And, of course, one of those games was against this very same George Mason team. That was a home game for the Spiders, landed 69-52. That's 121, kids.
62-59.
Or what did I say? 62-61?
69-52.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dyslexia. Hello.
Same amount. Yeah.
62-59, 121. That's the part that matters. And very good trends for Richmond. The under is cashed in 6 of their 8 home games, 6 straight in conference play. So there you go. No, I'm sorry. It's cashed in all 8. 6 of 8 conference, all 8 home games, 6 straight in conference play. So there you go. That's our play for today. We're going to try to keep it rolling here as we get involved with the Richmond George Mason under 137. And that's going to do it for this edition of Bet the Farm. And that's going to do it for this edition of Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. Want to wish you guys nothing but the best. Good luck on all of your plays. Don't forget to check out our partners. Of course, Caesars has a great deal, $1,500 just in time for the Super Bowl. Nationwide, wherever there's a Caesars, that deal is for you. So get yourself signed up, get deposited. Check out all the links in the show description. Stay tuned. We're going to just kind of turn this sucker around here for a second and then fire it right back up as we do our Super Bowl props preview show. I'm looking forward to this. Everybody loves a good prop action. So, yeah, till then, guys, hang with us if you can. We appreciate it. If not, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget, we do this every single day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, as Scott and I will do our very best to help you in your daily journey to head back to the window. Take care, everybody.